It's been a great journey, actually. We actually got back together 3 years ago, and we immediately went into writing new material. And I think we've got something really special between us. We have a real, a chemistry between us, and recorded an album called Astronaut. And we've done some touring too. We did a great British tour early in the year, which was like a full arena tour, and it's been really amazing.
We've been very lucky since we got back together with all the audiences we've played to because it's been quite extraordinary. We first went to Japan last year, and we put 10,000 tickets on sale. They went in 2 minutes, and we thought, wow, we weren't expecting that. That's nice. We got there, and we realized that people had come from all over the world because they were the very first shows to see us play, and we couldn't have asked for a better audience. And everywhere we've gone since then, we've been finding the same thing. There's so much warmth and enthusiasm. And when people come to see us, they really come to have a great time. A lot of our music's very uplifting. So when we play shows, it's our duty almost to make sure that that audience really gets up and dances a lot and goes through the different emotions of the songs with us. And Germany, we just played our first show here for a long time with this lineup together in Berlin at the weekend, and they were as good an audience as anyone we've played to anywhere in the world. It was really amazing, I have to say. So we're all very much looking forward to coming and doing a full tour of Germany, which we're going to do next year when the album comes out. Well, the album's coming out in a minute. We're going to do the tour next year, starting in February in America and then coming through in the summer, probably May, June, I would imagine, back to Europe. Want to get to all those cities.
The last thing we're usually doing is discussing the set list, because we try and change the show every night. So it's usually like 10 minutes before we go on, and we're saying, no, we've got to do this one, or we've got to play View to Quill. No, we can't because we're playing, too many off from that particular period or something. Because we try to play something from every part of the career of the band, right from the early 80s through the 90s and new stuff too. So we've got a lot of stuff to get through. So that's usually our routine, is arguing over the set list, actually.
Our audience is a complete cross-section of music lovers. When a band's been around for 20 years or more, I think you've usually amassed enough songs that somewhere along the line you've got into a music lover's record collection. And some people are definitely with us right from the very beginning. Others joined us around the Wedding album with songs like Ordinary World and Come Undone. And with this lineup coming back again, there's kids that probably have never ever seen us before who are coming because they're curious to see what's going on. So there's a lot of really young ones too.
I think this was all about getting the original lineup back together, the early 80s lineup, because I think it was a very short-lived period and it was a very productive period. But I think we all felt inside that it ended too soon in a way, and then we still had some creative juice left in us, and at least 2 or 3 more albums. And I think that was a general feeling when we got back together. Everybody seemed to want that, this lineup. It seemed to be the favorite lineup, and it's been very creative. It's been all we could wish for, because as soon as we got back together, the creative juices just started to flow. And we wrote very quickly when we got back together.
We write in quite an unusual way because we literally get in a room, all plug in and start playing together. And we don't come in with ideas. It all has to happen in that room at that time. And we usually stumble across something that we're playing. It might be a couple of people. It could be Roger and John, who've really got an amazing rhythm happening, or it could be a sequencer that I've started, or maybe a phrase that we've got. A guitar riff, any of it, that can be the seed from where the song develops. And it's just the only way we really know how, I suppose, together. And so there's a lot of ideas flowing around. We're never short of ideas. It's really more a matter of editing and going in and zeroing in on the one thing that's the best thing happening, and then turning that into something really special. But each time we're together, if we're playing for 4 or 5 hours, we never leave without a piece of music that we all like. It may not be finished, but we get something. And with this album, we wrote a lot of material. I mean, there's 12 new songs on Astronaut, but there's 30-something pieces of music that we wrote to choose those 12 from. And actually, a lot of them are so good that we really want to finish them, and I'm sure they'll make it to the next record.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened, actually. When we decided to get back together, we just rented a house in the south of France, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it was just the 5 of us and a guy that was doing the engineering, the Pro Tools. And we just played in a room for 10 days and to see what would happen. And, I think we wrote, it was like a song a day. And we didn't play any of the old songs till about 5 days in. So it was all about just getting back together and, creating something new and moving forward.
The first single off the album, Reach Up for the Sunrise, we chose because it's very uplifting. It's a classic Duran Duran sound, yet it's contemporary. It's a groove song. It's something that makes people smile. It's really just about waking up in the morning and forgetting all the things that happened yesterday or the week before or the year before even, and saying we could do something special with this day. And I suppose it's also paralleled with our story of us coming back together, and it's our new sunrise.
Well, I don't think we could avoid that. I think as soon as we started playing together, it sounded like the original Duran Duran. I mean, that's how we sound. We couldn't sound like U2 if we wanted to. It's a sound that's very individual to us, and it's what happens when we play together. Well, it's always been a bit of a tradition actually with Duran to work with R&B black producers and white producers, and we wanted to. First thing we wanted to do was really bring out the band sound in the album, to make sure that you could hear everybody interacting. So we brought in Don Gilmore that really helped us with that. He helped us get the organic sounds of the instruments and really got everything very organized. And then we brought Dallas Austin in towards the end. It was kind of like, it was so hip. The studio was like a nightclub. And he really brought some fun and, great grooves to the album at the end, where it could have been a little stale by the end. He came and really gave it some fresh air. We also did some work with Nile Rodgers too, who we worked with back in the 80s, and he was great too. He was, his grooves are just, nobody does it better. He's one of the best musicians in the world, I think.
Duran Duran's always been about innovation, and we've tried from the very beginning to do things a little differently and to set ourselves aside from the other things out there and to not chase trends, to actually just make an unusual sound that's our own. And when we first started, we were drawing on the influence of other music we liked. So that was 70s music, primarily glam rock, punk rock, disco, and electronic music. And it was that combination that helped form the manifesto for the first album. And we haven't changed that much. I mean, hip-hop has been thrown into that because we like a lot of those grooves. But really, we have an edgy rock guitar. We've got a funky rhythm section. We've got electronic keyboards and Simon's voice, which is incredibly identifiable. And it's those elements that make our sound. So we can easily jump between a rock producer like Don Gilmore and an R&B producer like Dallas. I mean, actually, neither of them were going to do much to change the sound of Duran Duran, but they both helped make great Duran Duran records.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.